Next space launch postponed. What got in the way of today's blast-off?
Also, making history, the class of 2020.
It never, ever crossed my mind that I would just be isolated from everybody in the entire school for almost 3 months now.
Graduates from kindergarten, high school, and college share their experiences and how this pandemic changed their future.
Disney is reopening. Just how soon the gates will open and the changes being made to the happiest place on Earth.
A reason to cheer. After 2 months in the hospital fighting the coronavirus, a local man is headed home.
And now, live from WKYC Studios, this is What's New.
Well, last time I checked, it is now Wednesday here in the CLE, and it's 5 o'clock, so that means it's time to talk about what's new. I'm Betsy Kling here in Studio A, and once again, Romney Smith is joining me in the newsroom. Hi, Romney.
Hello. It's been nice to join you this week, and there's certainly a lot to get to today, Betsy.
There definitely is. And what's new this afternoon, we're going to be talking about perspective. How devastating this coronavirus has been to Cleveland's tourism industry. It is a very real problem, but that doesn't mean Cleveland is down and out. Rather, this is a time to get creative and find solutions. Mark Namick joins us live now from downtown Cleveland. And Mark, we're talking about perspective. So give us an idea of how we were doing before the pandemic.
Sure, Betsy, and hello, and thanks for the postcard day. I wish I would have paid attention to the weather because I'm way overdressed. But, you know, Cleveland, long derided as the mistake on the lake, has been anything but to tourists. You know, over the last several years, more and more keep coming, with a record in 2018, the latest numbers available, at 19 million visitors. They were trying to get 20 million this year, but as you know, the tourism industry doesn't exist at the moment.
All right, so then the big question would be, you know, how devastating in this? How do we move on? I know we have this group called Destination Cleveland here. What do they do and what are they trying to do at this point?
They announced today, along with a lot of public officials and some health officials and doctors, that they're launching a campaign or an operation dubbed Undefeated. And it has 3 parts. The first being in June to start reaching out to bars and restaurants to get them to sign on and pledge to do the best practices to keep patrons safe. If they do so, they're going to get some free kits to give out to customers. The idea being, let's reassure people that it is safe to come back. Phase 2, which might start in July, would be to start marketing to locals to rediscover your backyard and come on out. Phase 3 in August, this is the big one, to start marketing maybe to those locals, friends and family to get them to road trip in. Now, they're realistic to know that no one knows what the pandemic's going to look like, you know, in a month or two, so they're going to hopefully go there. But their belief is that we're starting to see some things happen, and every job matters. There's 71,000 jobs tied to the industry just locally, so there's a lot there, Betsy.
Well, staycation is certainly a very good thing, so whether people are coming from near or far, the multi-million-dollar question is, what's open? What can we do in Cleveland?
Well, behind me is the Rock Hall, so that's coming online soon. We know the Art Museum in Cleveland, one of the best and always free, has announced plans to try to reopen. They expect a lot more of those things going. Just off to camera left is a restaurant that's open, so you're seeing a lot more of those coming on board. So all of this makes a difference. Now, the real question is, will people come without big ball games, big concert events, and other things that really do help draw that regional tourist? But they're staying optimistic, but they don't know what's going to happen a month from now.
Well, I think every visitor's best friend will probably be their phone in this whole thing. Make sure you check ahead, look at the hours, look at what's open, and see if they have any restrictions put in place. Mark Namick in downtown Cleveland. Thanks a lot, Mark. Go cool off.
Thank you.
Romney?
Betsy, a lot of people have been putting off important preventative care because of the pandemic, and doctors' offices are now saying it's time to come back. This is especially true concerning children. Metro Health here in Cleveland says its pediatricians have noticed more than 50% of a drop in wellness visits. Our Dave Chudowski spoke to a Metro doctor earlier today, and the message is it's okay to go to the doctor.
Since the COVID issue has started, appropriately, people have been scared. Right? And we kind of stopped even having the in-person visits and all of that. But now, as things are getting better, we know more about the disease, we know what to do, and the things that we have implemented in our clinics makes things better. So it's time to get the children back to be seen by the doctor.
That's right. It's always a good thing to make sure the kids are all up to date on all their booster shots and immunization shots if you're comfortable with that.
It is, especially since we're not quite sure exactly how school is going to kick off next year. You want to be ready just in case we do have classes actually at school.
Absolutely.
A lot of parents are really hoping that happens, and kids too. Thank you, Romney. Well, it's big news for Disney fans. Disney World in Orlando will start reopening in July. The plan will start with Magic Kingdom and Animal Kingdom opening July 11th. Epcot and Hollywood Studios will follow suit a few days later on July 15th. Disney will have hand washing stations, plexiglass barriers, and will require all guests and employees, they call them cast members there, as you know, to wear face coverings.
We believe this thoughtful, methodical, and phased ramp-up strategy for our property is the right path. Together, we hope everyone will do their part to bring the magic of Walt Disney World back into this new environment.
Well, some other new health and safety measures at Disney will include on-site temperature and health screenings, contactless payment, and increased mobile food ordering options. Then there's something they're calling the social distance squad. Russ Mitchell needs to take note of this because he's our PM safety director, whatever that title has been added to his list. Anywho, here's how they are being described. A dedicated team of highly energetic and informative cast members who are committed to engaging and inspiring our guests to follow the appropriate guidelines. I mean, you are at the happiest place on earth. You know there's going to be some contentious people there not wearing their masks and whatnot.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see how they handle that with a smile on their
I
face.
think it'll be okay. I've been to Disney several times, and let me tell you, it's got this incredible vibe there. So I think if all of those highly energetic cast members continue to say, hey, this is also everyone can be happy, we should be fine.
Well, if you've ever had the blood orange margaritas at the Tequileria in Mexico in Epcot, you may know things can sometimes get a little crazy even at Disney.
You got a story to tell me during the break. Thanks, Betsy.
It's from a friend. All right, Romney, you have the next story.
Okay, so switching gears from Disney to football. Football season is still quite a ways away, but Browns quarterback Baker Mayfield is now breaking his silence. The voice of the Browns, Jim Donovan, joins us live from the Donovan farm. And Jimmy, silence isn't what we're used to from the quarterback.
No, I have to tell you, first of all, it's great to hear from him, and it's great to visually see him. We wish we would be seeing him on the fields here in Berea. Hopefully that will be coming up later on. But Baker Mayfield realizes this is a big year coming up for the Browns, but individually it's a very, very important year for him. Let's go inside that. As he met with the local media today, he continues to work out down in Austin, Texas, getting ready for what he feels is going to be a full season in the NFL. He's been working with some of his wide receivers, throwing the football to him. But, I mean, let's break it down. Last year was a rough year for the Browns and a rough year personally for Mayfield. Let's not sugarcoat it. Let's go a step further. It was a bad year for the Browns and a very bad year for Baker Mayfield. But he thinks things are looking up personally, and he's looking forward. I mean, he is counting the days until he gets out onto the field with the Browns again.
I'm expecting to have a full season, to be quite honest with you. You know, I don't know if we'll have anything in the offseason. I know there's rumors going around about a possible mini camp or things like that. But I'm staying optimistic because the world needs sports. We need to, be safe with that in mind. But I think hopefully soon it'll start to open up and we'll have football back again.
Now, he is right about that. I mean, they really need a minicamp. He needs a minicamp. After all, they need to be out on the field. There's so much change with the Browns. They have a new head coach, a whole new offense, new defense too, but individually for him, a new offense. The best way to get that in place is to be on the practice field together, working out with the coaches beside you. I mean, the virtual deal is okay, but I mean, the best case scenario is to be on the field. Romney, it's a huge year for him, and I'll tell you why. It's year 3. He was exciting as a rookie. He was not very good last year. He really struggled all season long. 21 interceptions. Yeah. He's not going to win doing that. Year 3 is when an NFL team takes a look at a young quarterback and says, okay, Is he our long-term guy?
Yep.
Should we talk to him about a long-term deal? Or if he struggles again, do we have to go back into the quarterback pool and try and find another answer at that position? I hope that's not the scenario for the Browns, so we'll see how it plays out.
Jimmy, it's so good to hear that he's excited to come back, excited to get back to work. And I'm hoping that he doesn't look at the pandemic as a setback, but more like an arrow. Like, it's okay, it's a step back, but I'm going to shoot out the gate, ready to go, and get us some wins. Thank you, Jimmy.
Yeah, absolutely, Romney. You know, when he's had rough spots before in college, he's always come out on the other side and played well. Hopefully that happens this year.
Absolutely. Thanks, Jimmy.
All right, now it's time to get a check on some of today's other top stories. We say hello to our pally, Russ Mitchell, over at the news desk. Hi, Russ.
Hey, Betsy,Ll get you in just a few minutes, but thank you for the nice introduction. Appreciate that. Here's what is happening. The mayor of Minneapolis is calling for criminal charges to be filed against a police officer who pressed his knee into the neck of George Floyd. We are not going to show you all of the video, but a bystander caught Floyd pleading that he could not breathe as the officer kept his knee in his neck for several minutes. The 4 police officers who were involved have been fired, but Floyd's family is calling for murder charges. General Electric is officially saying goodbye to the light bulb, but luckily not to the city of East Cleveland. After years of searching for a buyer, GE is selling its light bulb production to smart home company Savant Systems. GE Lighting will remain headquartered in East Cleveland. And scrubbed. Bad weather has postponed the first launch of NASA's astronauts from Florida in 9 years. The next attempt will be Saturday afternoon. In the next half hour, we'll talk live with Jay Gray from the Kennedy Space Center about today's delay and Saturday's launch, I should say, in the next hour. But yeah, as you were saying, Betsy, yesterday, so exciting. We're all sitting there waiting for this to happen, but not today, Saturday, it looks like.
Right? And the guys are stuck in that capsule, strapped in. They might still be there right now. I have no idea. It takes time to offload all that propellant.
It's got to be something so your head is so in that game, and then suddenly, not happening today.
Exactly. And I do have to say a correction. I'm so sorry. You are actually the WKYC 3 News Safety Task Force PM leader.
Exactly. And I'm looking at you first, Betsy. Because you are a scofflaw, and I will report you to management at my first opportunity if you act up.
Yes. I have hand sanitizer, and I'll curtsy next time.
Good to know.
Okay, thank you.
See ya.
Romney.
I'm staying out of that. Okay. Small businesses are encouraging shoppers to buy gift cards to help them get through this tough period. But what happens if a company goes under before you can use that gift card? It's a pretty big concern on the minds of a lot of people, but one insurance company thinks they have an answer. Never thought you'd hear that, huh? Erie Insurance is now adding gift card and gift certificate reimbursement coverage to its homeowner policies. Let me explain. So this will only go up to $250 per gift card, though there is another catch. The business has to be within 100 miles of your home, and reimbursement is capped at $500. Betsy, I never thought I'd hear of a gift card or gift certificate reimbursement program under a homeowner's policy.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's in your house, I guess.
I mean, it makes me feel better about buying a gift card.
Worth a try, certainly. Sorry if I was a little distracted. I'm still trying to Google scofflaw and find out just exactly what a slam Russ Mitchell put on me. I'm not quite sure yet, so we're still giggling. Anywho, all right, we move along. Next, the class of 2020 had the end of their senior year pulled out from under them, but we're going to take a special look through the eyes of the graduates as they're moving forward.
And now let's check in with Stephanie to see what's clicking.
Hey there, Betsy and Romney. We have another sneak peek from Cedar Point about what's to come when the park reopens, and there's a couple places where 2020 grads can get some free stuff. Now, Jason, tell us what to expect from this weather.
Well, good afternoon to you, Stephanie, and hello, everybody. Well, we saw yet another warm day across northeast Ohio, but there is some relief on the way. I am timing it out when we return.
Welcome back. We all know the past few months have been quite a bit of a shock to most of us, but for young people in all stages of schooling, the change has been particularly hard. Our Lindsay Buckingham spoke with 3 graduates who have pretty big dreams for their futures.
Because I'm going to have a new teacher and it's going to be harder work for me.
I'd say from the beginning of this year to now, my view of what to expect this fall has changed drastically.
It just makes me a little bit more anxious to see how things will play out.
3 students at different stages of graduation. Their education came to a halt a few months ago. Now they're wondering what the world will look like come fall.
I'm nervous because we have to do we're gonna do tests.
Maggie Culleton, a soon-to-be first grader at Lakewood Catholic Academy, and along with being a little worried about the new learning challenges, she's also just not concerned with anything at all.
Are you excited to make new friends?
Yeah.
She is happy about that recess, though. Well, kind of.
When you go into first grade, we have recess before we eat.
What she is, grateful and curious, and that's big for a 6-year-old.
Every day you learn something new.
Something new was school from home since March for Lakewood senior Cameron Levis.
It never, ever crossed my mind that I would just be isolated from everybody in the entire school.
He's class president, and that speech at graduation won't be done the same way.
I'm going to be speaking in front of a camera instead of in front of all my classmates.
But this 18-year-old has big plans at Michigan State come fall, going into supply chain management, aiming to help frontline workers.
With the PPE and everything in hospitals that they need, that I could really play a role and make a difference with a business degree.
Cameron, still humbled by what's ahead for him.
I just feel like the world has blessed me so much that I owe it something back.
What do you want to do?
I want to be a news reporter.
Shakina Davis will graduate from Kent State University this August with her journalism degree. She was warming up that anchor desk at TV2 until classes went virtual.
It hit me, I'd say, once classes started to go online.
But this young lady is passionate and taking things in stride.
Thought about journalism because I took courses, media arts in high school, and I really loved it.
She's prepping for a radio station internship and keeping that smile on her face.
You have a remarkably positive attitude. Do you get that a lot?
Yes, my graduation is still on track. I'm still doing good with that.
Congratulations, graduates. We're rooting for you.
But we're still all in this together.
Lindsay Buckingham, 3 News.
We, of course, want to send our sincerest congratulations to all of the graduates out there. And on a special note, we actually invited Shakina, an aspiring journalist, to spend a day with us as soon as it's safe to visit the newsroom.
Can't wait to get her in here. She's so cute, and I just love her spirit. And we need those go-getters like her, so certainly we will open our arms and welcome her. One other person that we open our arms and welcome, Jason Fraser, one of my favorite people. Yay! Oh. That's the thing. Jason is a hugger. A lot of people don't realize that. And when he doesn't have a chance to hug people, he gets a little crazy. And I think Romney could probably, yeah, she's nodding her head. So virtual hugs, friend.
Yeah,
virtual hugs.
I've been hugging. Yeah, I've been hugging my wife a little bit more lately, and I think that's why she enjoys going to work and leaving me at home, because she's like, okay, bye, see you later, see you later.
I won't tell you she said something
I like physical
like that,
touch.
but that's okay.
That's my love language. Well, you know what, Betsy? One of the things that I will say is great to do outdoors today is a little bit of what I call virtual hugging outside. And it is all because of that lovely, lovely air that is moving across the region right now. But you know what, friends? We're going to be saying goodbye to it in probably about 48 hours or so. Let's take a look right now at the current temperature across northeast Ohio. We have 85 degrees in Akron, 82 in Medina, 85 here in downtown Cleveland. We did not set any records today, so if you are a record checker, sorry. As far as the dew points go, still feeling pretty humid out there. We have dew points right now in the 60s across much of northeast Ohio, and it's going to slowly start to decline over the next 24 to about 36 hours. Despite the cloud cover, Doppler radar, as you can see right now, we're not seeing any precipitation pop up. All of the precipitation is to our south, and it is slowly trying to make its way into our neck of the woods. And one of the other things you may notice there is, yep, Tropical Depression Bertha. It originally made landfall in the Carolinas today as a tropical storm. Oop, did I mispronounce it? Did I say it was Bertha?
It's just me saying Bertha.
Okay. All right, Bertha. Bertha, okay, all right. See, this is what happens when you're doing a weather forecast with your chief listening. It's a little bit nerve-wracking, but that's okay. All right, so let's go to the upper airflow, the jet stream, because, you know, Betsy is always, you know, secretly judging what I'm saying because, you know, she's been doing this a while. All right, so upper airflow, as you can see, that's the jet stream. We got some warm air that's been across our region, but one of the things you're going to notice here is that warm air is going to slide eastward, and we are going to get that jet stream that's going to dip down. That is going to allow some much cooler air to move across our region. But then don't you worry, friends, as we look across much of the region, we will continue to see that warm air, and that warm air is going to likely move back into our neck of the woods this time next week. Let's do the hour-by-hour National Design Mart forecast. So you'll notice by midnight, we'll still see temperatures in the upper 60s, and then tomorrow morning, many of us will see temperatures starting out in the 60s, and that's when we'll also likely end up seeing some rain showers. Universal Windows Rec, 7-day forecast. High for tomorrow of 83 degrees, 78 for Friday. And then, Betsy, we cool down for the weekend. Did I do okay? Did I do okay?
You
Hopefully
always
I did okay.
do well. You crack me up with your whole she's listening. Right. Here's the fact of the matter. I just like to say the name Bertha. I think it is a great name. It rolls off the tongue. Bertha. That's why I said that. So that's all it was.
Bertha.
Exactly.
Could you imagine saying that? Like, Bertha's coming over here.
Okay. Thank you, Jason. Woo, I love weather humor. We just can't get enough. All right. Well, what coaster fans think that Cedar Point has in the works? Have you seen this yet? The park is teasing their latest project. We'll have more on that coming up.
Okay, great. Mic check. LeBron James is among the many people outright.
Stephanie now for what's clicking in Cleveland. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Romney. We start off with something that a lot of people are talking about here in Cleveland and all over the country. LeBron James is among the many people outraged over the death of George Floyd, who died after video showed him telling a Minneapolis police officer who had a knee on his neck that he couldn't breathe. So today, James posted this photo of himself in an I Can't Breathe t-shirt, which he wore in protest of something eerily similar that happened to Erica Garner, another black man who died in police custody in New York in 2014. And yesterday, James shared a photo of Floyd with an officer's knee on his neck. That's next to an image of Colin Kaepernick kneeling during the national anthem during his 2016 NFL protests against police brutality, with the words, "This is why," and in the caption he wrote, "Do you understand now, or is it still blurred to you to drive home Kaepernick's message?" Moving on to a very different story, switching gears here. As Disney World has made its plans to reopen known, we're thinking about what that means for Cedar Point, and we have some thoughts on that on WKYC.com. But in the meantime, Cedar Point is teasing a different kind of plan on Twitter. Park spokesperson Tony Clark shared a sketch of something inside of an envelope, and it's what looks like design plans for the front end of a roller coaster train. Now, one person guessed that this has to do with Millennium Force trains and not a new ride, and Clark said, sort of. So we'll definitely be keeping our eyes on this for sure. And for all of this year's challenges, here's something that 2020 graduates can look forward to: free stuff. Now, here in the greater Cleveland area, Dunkin' locations on Friday only are giving away a free medium hot or iced coffee and a donut to members of the class of 2020. That's both high school and college grads. You just have to bring your cap and gown or any senior gear. And not to be outdone, Pizza Hut is also giving out one free medium pizza to new grads. That's through June 4th. Now, to take advantage of that, you do have to have a Hut Rewards account. So you can set that up and get your digital coupon, Romney. You just have to go to pizzahut.com/grad party so you can take advantage of that.
Well, worth it. They deserve a lot of free stuff because they've dealt with a lot of stuff a lot of us haven't had to, you know?
Very true.
All right, thank you. Ahead at 5:30, student athletes are starting.
The risk beyond, all right, I got this one, Rom. Your mic just cut out. Starting to train again for the first time in a while. The risk beyond coronavirus that kids and young adults are taking on. And NASA, well, history will have to wait a little bit longer. See what scrubbed today's launch. Also ahead, perhaps the best video you are going to see all day. A magical moment when a man who spent nearly 2 months in the hospital with coronavirus got to go home.
And now, live from WKYC Studios, this is What's New.
Now that is good news. Definitely some video you want to see, the sounds of celebration you want to hear as a coronavirus patient in Parma is released from the hospital after nearly 2 months on the inside. That is the kind of news we like to start with here on What's New at 5:30. Thanks for being with us. I'm Betsy Kling.
And I'm Romney Smith. Betsy, truly a magical moment for so many today at the UH Parma Medical Center. 74-year-old Jerry Gustin spent a whopping 57 days in the hospital, and 23 of those were in the ICU. Now, on his T-shirt, it says, 2020 pandemic survivor, we battled, I won. And he sure did. We got a chance to speak with Jerry moments after this very special moment this morning.
I haven't seen day. I've seen daylight through the window, but I tell you, I walked outside and it was just like, oh my God, it's outside. I can't believe it. It's great. It's great. And all the people that supported me, and I love them. I love them all. It's just, it's heartbreaking. From the bottom of my heart, I thank everybody, the whole team, all the way down.
He also took a moment to ask all Ohioans to continue following the suggested coronavirus safety precautions, asking his fellow Ohioans to please be patient. You know, he was wearing a mask so you couldn't see him, but his eyes say it all. He was smiling to be outside.
He definitely was. And can you imagine 2 months ago? Well, I mean, that was March, so yeah. Things have probably changed a little bit since that time. So hopefully he got to enjoy some of the nice weather today.
Absolutely.
Too. Wow, I love that story. All right, now we're going to move on to our top talker today. You know, with restrictions now lifted on some sports in Ohio, student athletes are starting to train for the first time in months. But if they aren't careful, it can come with a cost. Tiffany Tarpley joins us live from Shaker Heights now. And Tiffany, we aren't necessarily talking about getting sick here, but we're talking about the potential for injuries.
Yeah, and it's really problematic, Betsy, especially when you talk about student athletes, whether they're playing tennis, no matter what sport. Not only do they want to be the best, I mean, they want to get on the team. They want to have that playing time. So you have that pressure mixed with just kind of the uncertainty of everything, mixed with not being able to train hard for 2 months. Well, at this point, it's all about taking it slowly.
Chelsea Mack is an elite softball player, a center fielder. Missing out on her sophomore season in high school and key time with her teammates was really hard. But now with gyms open, she's able to work on developing strength.
Today was my first day back and I was really shaky, but I'm really glad to be able to start up again.
Start up at Cleveland's Sport and Swim Institute in Broadview Heights, which specializes in training student athletes. Owner and director John Collis says one of his biggest concerns right now after 2 months off due to the COVID-19 pandemic is injuries.
But now we're asking our kids to go from this relatively sedentary lifestyle where they haven't been strength training, doing some speed and agility work, and to be thrown onto the field. And, that's concerning in a number of ways.
So he is making sure they are ready, educating both athletes and their families. Rainbow Babies and Children's Hospital Pediatric Sports Medicine, Dr. Amanda Weiss-Kelly says it's important to gradually reintroduce exercise.
To go from 1 or 2 hours a week to 5 to 6 hours a week is an abrupt increase. It was snowing 10 days ago, and then it was 90 degrees yesterday. So we're not just at risk for injury, we're at increased risk for heat illness and heat injury, because we're not acclimatized yet.
As Chelsea eases her way back and prepares for travel club season this summer, she says it's about staying focused on what she calls the little things to prevent injuries.
If you're injured, it could take 6 months off and then you have to restart. It's just like this quarantine.
And as you can imagine, student athletes, they don't want that. They don't want to go back to that 2 months of not working hard. So activity is not only important, of course, for student athletes, but really for all children, preschool aged, elementary school age. You need to make sure that they get that activity in, even adolescents. You know, Betsy, I spoke with a doctor who says that activity is important for all of us because it helps when it comes to anxiety and depression, something a lot of us are dealing with during this time.
Definitely, and I can't help but think that the senior kids who are moving to college and may have scholarships for those athletics, they don't want to fall behind because there's money tied to that.
they don't want to lose them. So it's that pressure, but you have to take it slowly.
Definitely. All right, Tiffany, thanks a lot. Appreciate that.
All right, now let's get a check on some of today's other top stories. We say hello once more to Russ Mitchell. Hello, sir.
Hey, Romney, good afternoon to you. We begin with those in the front line every day. Today, Cleveland firefighters pulled 3 kids from a home on Cleveland's east side. That fire broke out this afternoon on East 153rd. All the kids, ranging in age from 10 to 14, were taken to the hospital in serious condition. Another local business is shutting down in the wake of the pandemic. Exo Prime Steaks in downtown Cleveland has announced it is closing after 17 years. Owners said they looked at many different ways around it, but it was just not possible to continue. Of course, that is sad news anytime a business goes under.
Yeah.
And they had been around for so long, kind of a fixture downtown. So anyway, here we go.
Yeah.
See you at 6 o'clock.
Thank you, Russ. Appreciate it.
Well, we here at WKYC are on a mission to help our friends at the Greater Cleveland Food Bank help those who help others. We're helping with a face mask collection drive with a goal of getting 10,000 masks to equip food bank volunteers and staff throughout Northeast Ohio. We have been collecting these here at WKYC since our initiative started. We got, well, I think what we have is probably a couple thousand here. Now, all of this that you see was dropped off here at our studios. We have the handmade masks. They're coming in from all over the place. Some have been mailed. Some have been dropped off right into our lobby. These just came in today. This was in a little bag today. I went out and grabbed those. So thank you to everyone who has already donated here at WKYC. We have a whole nother area that you can donate, which is directly to the Greater Cleveland Food Bank. So let's give you some of these details. There's 2 places to donate. The Greater Cleveland Food Bank, you can drop those off. They're just east of downtown Cleveland at 15,500 South Waterloo Road. You want to make it attention Kevin Grissinger, okay? That's the guy who's kind of coordinating all this. Our studios are here at 1333 Lakeside Avenue, and we are accepting the donations in our lobby, or you can mail them. Now, here's the kicker. If you get 250 or more, I'm going to come and pick them up myself. As a matter of fact, this weekend, I am heading out to Sandusky. We have 2 sisters who have put together, I think it's 260 some masks. So I'm going to be road tripping with the girls out to Sandusky and picking up those masks. So excited about that. I have, I think, 4 other stops planned in the coming days. And again, 250 masks, that's a lot of help. It's a lot of work. And I want to personally say thank you to those people. All of this does not include the 1,100 masks that were donated by Adam Radogna, who owns the 7-Eleven in Parma at Ridge and Ridgewood. So just a fantastic effort so far. I really want to say thank you to everybody. We have more projects coming in. As a matter of fact, Joann Fabrics donated like thousands of yards of elastic, which is like gold right now in mask making projects. And we are going to be distributing that elastic through a special relationship with Pins and Needles, a beautiful little sewing store. They have 3 shops across Northeast Ohio. So we'll be putting out more information on that in the coming days. But really some great stuff happening.
And hey, during the pandemic, I'm sure a lot of crafters are breaking out the sewing machine. So this is a very worthy cause to donate to.
Every single mask counts, and it helps a lot of people. All right. Thank you very much. I don't know what I'm supposed to do now. All right, Romney, tease.
All right, we have royal drama in the pop break. Stephanie's going to break all of that down coming up.
Well, good afternoon to you, and good afternoon, everybody. So we are going to see temperatures continue to go down just a little bit, and I'm going to also let you know when you're going to need the sweater or the coat.
Yep, I'm ready.
All right, it's time for your daily dose of pop in your life, and I'm not talking about soda. There are rumors of a royal drama brewing between Kate and Meghan, but it could just be tabloid trash, so we're going to clear that up. And Anna Kendrick makes headlines with her new show on the latest streaming service that launches today, and we're looking at some friendly trolling between one of Hollywood's top couples. Stephanie has all of it in today's Pop Break.
The British royals have come out swinging against what they call a false report about Kate Middleton's life. In an article out Monday calling the Duchess of Cambridge Catherine the Great, Tatler magazine reported Kate is exhausted and overwhelmed with responsibilities after Meghan Markle and Harry's royal exit. Tatler wrote that a friend of Kate's said she is furious about the larger workload, that of course she's smiling and dressing appropriately, but she doesn't want this. A royal spokesperson said today that this story contains a swath of inaccuracies and false misrepresentations which were not put to Kensington Palace prior to publication. But Tatler stands behind the reporting. Anna Kendrick has a new show on the newly launched streaming service HBO Max, and it may be more autobiographical than we think. The show, Love Life, is all about one woman's ups and downs in dating throughout the years.
You found the one?
No, found some losers on Match.com.
Kendrick, who is currently dating British cinematographer Ben Richardson, relates to the storylines, telling Entertainment Tonight that while she was acting, she drew inspiration from her exes, which rumor has it include the likes of Edgar Wright, Alfie Allen, and even Zac Efron. Hey, the girl is a catch, and we can't wait to watch. And one of the internet's favorite couples is making us laugh again today, after a meme account posted a photoshopped picture of Ryan Reynolds casually laying on a Walmart checkout counter belt while wearing an American flag Speedo. Ryan's actor wife Blake Lively commented, "Please, stop stealing my personal photos." The pic is obviously a joke, but it's moments like these that make us love these two even more.
We absolutely love their posts going back and forth, but the one that we are really waiting for is the one of their third child, which we think is a daughter, based on a post that Ryan shared back in October, but they trolled us all then when they posted a emoji over the kid's face, so we didn't get to see it. Now, they are notoriously private about their children, Romney, which we respect, but when they are ready to share, we will be very excited to see that bundle of joy.
I mean, it's almost unfair. He is handsome, she is gorgeous, the kids are lovely, they're multi-millionaires, and they're talented. I mean, I have a crush on both of them.
And funny and cool. I mean,
and
totally.
They're a couple goals for Hollywood, definitely. Thank you, Stephanie.
All right, let's get on to the weather now. Jason Fraser joining us once again from home. And Jason, we didn't meet the records today again. It wasn't quite the sizzler that it has been the past couple days. I've heard a lot of people saying, okay, this feels good, this is nice, this is summer, but that's going to start to change.
Yeah, you know what, 2 weeks ago, we should remind people, we were talking about record low temperatures. So this week we were talking about record highs, and you know what, quite honestly, I will take the record highs because I've been sick of the cold weather. I'm like, come on, move along, right? Well, you know what? As we take a look at the maps, one of the things you're going to notice here is there's still a lot of red, even though, as Betsy mentioned, it wasn't as warm as it was yesterday. It still is feeling pretty warm out there. We're talking about 86 in Akron, 83 in Ashland, as well as Elyria, 85 here in downtown Cleveland. It's still feeling a little bit humid, and hence the reason why I'm showing you those dew points. Anytime the temperature is 60 degrees or above, it is going to feel humid, and that is numbers in terms of those dew points I'm talking about. So as far as the dew points go, 64 over in Ashland as well as Mansfield. So Doppler radar, despite seeing some of that cloud cover, we're not seeing any precipitation. And one of the things that you will, however, notice is we got a lot of moisture that is to our south, and that is slowly trying to make its way into our neck of the woods. And one of the things that is leading the charge in that moisture is Tropical Depression Bertha. Yeah, it is Betsy's favorite name, Bertha. I don't know why, but she just loves saying that, according to her about a half hour ago.
Bertha.
But that moisture is going to Bertha. You know what? I'm going to name that my next card just for you, Betsy. That moisture is going to clip us in over the next 48 hours. One of the other things you're going to notice here is that as Bertha gets closer to us, we are going to see temperatures nosedive. So if you have been looking for some relief with all of that warm air, don't you worry, it is coming our way. But then look what happens by the latter point of next week. Tuesday into Wednesday, we start warming up a little bit. And then by Friday, I do think many of us will see temperatures warming up into the 80s. National Design Mart hour-by-hour forecast. In the meantime, overnight, we'll see temperatures in the 60s, along with partly to mostly cloudy skies. And then tomorrow morning by 9 a.m., I think the majority of you, particularly on the east side, will likely end up seeing some moisture move across the region. 60s for you guys, and then by the afternoon time, we will end up seeing some peaks of sunshine. Now, depending on when we see that sunshine, that'll dictate how high the temperature is going to go. If we see some sunshine earlier in the afternoon, we'll see much warmer temperatures. But if we see it towards the latter half of the afternoon, well, I do think that we'll likely end up seeing temperatures being in the lower 80s. Here's a look right now at your Universal Windows Direct 7-day forecast. So a high of 83 for tomorrow, 78 for Friday. And then this weekend, sweater weather. We're talking about waking up to temperatures in the 50s on Saturday and upper 40s on Sunday. And then, as I mentioned, we rebound. So Betsy, now our new name, our new favorite name around the newsroom is?
Bertha.
What is it?
My girl
Bertha.
I like it. All right, Jason, thank you so much. Can't wait to see what June is going to bring us, too. I'm sure we'll have plenty of highs and lows in there, too. Romney?
All right, we want to give a senior shout out right now to Alyssa Haynes. Alyssa goes to West G and will graduate with honors. Alyssa will attend the Ohio State University this fall. Remember, you can send us your senior shout out on our website, wkyc.com/senior shoutouts. Mission scrubbed. How long we'll have to wait to see NASA and SpaceX attempt their historic space launch. And later, it's like something your grandparents told you. The outrageous way two brothers got the Tooth Fairy to visit.
Hey, I can. How are you? I'm doing okay. I wish I'd have seen a launch, but I'm good.
Well, May 27th, 2020 was going to be kind of a big day for a lot of people right up until about 4:20 this afternoon. And then history, well, it's going to have the pump the brakes effect. Things were held today after weather delayed the first space launch from American soil in nearly a decade. So as we wait now for Saturday's expected launch, we turn to NBC's Jay Gray live at Kennedy Space Center with the latest. Hi there, Jay.
Betsy, we were that close to seeing things happen. In fact, take a look at the countdown clock. It stopped just under 17 minutes away from launch here, 16:54. As you move across the inlet, you get to pad 39A, the historic launch pad here at Kennedy Space Center, and the Falcon 9 as well as the Crew Dragon still there, did not launch. Look, maybe there was an omen earlier today when they strapped the astronauts in. A tornado warning was issued for Kennedy Space Center and the surrounding area, but things really did start to clear up during the countdown, just not quite enough. Low clouds and then lightning within 12 miles of the pad. That's really what forced the team to scrub today's launch.
We continue to violate a couple different weather rules that we now do not expect to clear in time to allow for a launch today.
For now, history will have to wait.
You are go for 5.100 launch scrub.
Clouds and rain keeping the SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket on the ground for at least another 2 days, with the next launch attempt scheduled for the weekend.
It was a good effort by the teams, and we understand.
When the mission does take flight, it will be the first manned American-made spacecraft to lift off from U.S. soil in almost 9 years. A new era in space exploration.
We are building to this public-private partnership on this grand scale of going back to the moon and then ultimately going to Mars. It's an extremely exciting time right now to be in the space business.
A business that is looking up despite today's delay. Yeah, and so the next available window comes Saturday afternoon. Right now, an early check with the weather core here at NASA, 60% go is the early forecast. Of course, that was the forecast yesterday before today's scheduled launch time. But looks good. Looks like the weather's getting better as we moved into the weekend. And Betsy, if it doesn't work Saturday, another window on Sunday to give it a try as well.
That's the way they do it down there at NASA. Try and try again. We definitely know that. Yeah. Now, SpaceX's Falcon 9 rocket, which is what is going to carry this capsule up with the 2 astronauts. I mean, you're talking about thousands and thousands of pounds of rocket fuel and that lightning around it. I think it's probably a good call to be a little careful with that. Definitely. All right, Jay, one more question for you. I'm sorry.
Yeah, if I was sitting on top of that, I'd rather cancel it.
You know it for sure. And, you know, speaking of canceling or not canceling, President Trump was there today. Is he expected to return for Saturday's expected launch?
Yeah, you know, he was here today, left without making any comment, but did tweet aboard Air Force One that he does plan to be back on Saturday. So if he sees the launch, he'll only be the 3rd sitting president to be on site for a manned launch.
All right, Jay Gray at Kennedy Space Center, thank you so much for joining us. Appreciate it. Hopefully we'll have better news come Saturday. All right, coming up, how 2 young brothers got pretty creative to remove a pesky baby tooth that just keeps hanging on. Moms, get ready to hold your breath. All right, now it's time for your Worth the Watch today, and it takes us to a home where a boy with a loose tooth gets an assist, pulling it out from his brother. Just don't try this at home.
I'm going to knock out my brother's tooth, string tied to his teeth, or his tooth, and I'm going to take a slap shot and knock it out.
Oh, and success. Okay, now look, I'm sorry, but that just seems, I think it's one of those things where it's the anticipation that is worse than anything else. The little boy's brother took a slap shot with his brother's tooth tied to a hockey puck. Yep, that'll pull out a baby tooth. His brother was totally on board and obviously got pretty excited. No word yet on whether the tooth fairy gives bonus pay for that one. Oh my word.
I was holding my breath for that one.
Oh, I can't believe it. All right, well, thanks so much for hanging with us today, staying with us here on What's New.
What Matters Most with Russ and Laura starts